evening. Thanks for joining us at Awaz News. I'm Kubrali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Suspects in gunpoint robbery in Ajax allegedly stole cell phone, then gave it back to police. Missing senior rescued after police dog locates him in St. Catharines Ravine. 12-year-old facing weapon charges in Oshawa, Ontario. Significant delays on the QEW after truck burst into flames near Hamilton. India expels Canadian diplomat after Canada links Indian agents to Sikh leader death. Doug Ford gets polite welcome at flowing match and amid undercurrent of Greenbelt anger. Canada's inflation rate reaches 4% in August.
Those were the headlines, and now let's jump through the details.
Drivers on the Queen Elizabeth Way should expect delays after a transport truck burst into flames, causing a fuel leak at the base of the Burlington Skyway Tuesday. According to Ontario Provincial Police, a tractor-trailer caught on fire after colliding with a concrete wall just after 10 a.m. near Eastport Drive. No injuries were reported. Leaking fuel breached the truck's insulation, police said, which resulted in a more complicated cleanup effort. They are taking the insulation of trailer piece by piece, OPP Sergeant Kerry Schmidt said in the video posted to X, formerly Twitter, Tuesday afternoon. They are dousing it with water to make sure that it's not going to reignite, and that will take some time. Both Niagara and Toronto-bound traffic have been reduced to 2 lanes on the Hamilton side of the Skyway. Please try and get off the QEW before the congestion, because once you are there, it will be a significant delay to get through, he said. Ontario Premier Doug Ford received a polite welcome Tuesday at a rural and farm expo, but underneath the smattering of applause and cheers lay a quiet undercurrent of anger about his plan to open parcels of protected Greenbelt land for housing development. Provincial politicians of all stripes made a trek to the International Flowing Match, which is a celebration of agriculture and rural living and provides politicians with an opportunity to woo those communities. Ford received some cheers and thumbs up as a tractor pulled him and his caucus on a wagon through the expo during an opening parade, and received polite applause during his speech, though several people silently held up signs urging Ford to keep the original promise he made several years ago not to touch the Greenbelt. But afterward, some attendees grumbled about Ford's decision to remove protections from Greenbelt lands, 83% of which the Auditor General said is among the highest quality farmland in the province. Doug Ford, how can you come and promote the International Flowing Match when you are appropriating prime farmland? Said Mona Blaine from Rodney, Ontario near London. He should be ashamed of himself. Farming affects us all. When there's no land left, there's our food coming from. Ken Reid from Kitchener, Ontario said he generally supports the progressive conservatives, but it seems like the Greenbelt decision was done to benefit wealthy developers, and he doesn't like it. The Auditor General found that more than 90% of the land was in 5 sites, passed on to then Housing Minister's Chief of Staff by 2 developers he met at an industry event, and the property owners stand to see their land value rise by $8.3 billion. The legislature usually shuts down for the day so that politicians can attend the Rural Expo, but this year the return from the summer break was pushed back to next week to accommodate the flowing match schedule. Ford, in his speech, did not mention the Greenbelt or housing, largely instead touting infrastructure investments, including broadband and reduction in the gas tax. NDP leader Marit Stiles, however, did mention the Greenbelt and received many enthusiastic nods of support. Green Party leader Mike Schreier said his team was holding signs during the opening parade saying "Hands off the Greenbelt, protect farmland," and he got a lot of positive feedback. A 12-year-old is facing weapons charges after allegedly pointing a baby gun at someone at their home in Oshawa, Ontario over the weekend. Durham police said they were called to a home in the area of Mary Street North and Taunton Road last Saturday at around 5:25 p.m. Officers said the suspect started kicking the front door of residence. When the homeowner opened the door, the suspect allegedly brandished a black BB pellet gun from his backpack and pointed it at the homeowner. The 12-year-old then ran away, police said. On Tuesday, police said the Oshawa youth is facing charges for pointing a firearm assault with a weapon, possess weapon for committing offenses, mischief under $5,000, and failed to comply with undertaking. The charges have not been proven in court. The suspect cannot be identified under the terms of the Youth Criminal Justice Act. Police say they are searching for suspects who allegedly stole a cell phone during a gunpoint robbery and then returned the device to victim a short time later, claiming that the incident had just been a joke. In a news release issued Tuesday, Durham Regional Police said the robbery occurred at around 10 p.m. on Saturday in the area of Harwood Avenue North and Roseland Road West. Police said a male reported that he had been walking through a field at a nearby high school when 3 or 4 males and 1 female began shouting at him. According to investigators, one of the male suspects pointed a firearm at the victim. The victim handed over his phone and a group took off, police said. A short time later, the male suspect who had wielded the firearm and the female who had been with the group earlier returned to the area without the firearm, police said. They gave the victim his phone back and stated that they were joking before fleeing the area once more, investigators allege. The victim and the suspects were not known to one another, police confirmed, and no one was injured. The male suspect has been described as between 15 and 20 years old, about 5 feet 8 inches tall and 150 pounds, with short brown hair. He was wearing a blue surgical mask, a brown hooded sweatshirt at the time, police said. The female suspect has been described by police as between 10 and 12 years old and is about 5 feet 5 inches tall with black braided hair. She was wearing a pink jacket at the time of the incident, police said. Anyone with the information about the incident is asked to Deputy Constable DuPont of the West Division Criminal Investigations Branch at 188-579-1520, extension 3944. Canada's inflation rate jumped to 4% last month as economists warn the latest Consumer Price Index report spells bad news for the Bank of Canada. Statistics Canada released its latest inflation reading on Tuesday, which shows the annual rate rose from 3.3% in July, marking the second consecutive month inflation has risen. What is the most concerning is that inflation accelerated more than expected, and that we also saw some core measures of inflation that the Bank of Canada track accelerate as well, said Andrew Gatham, CIBC's Executive Director of Economics. Core measures of inflation strip out volatility in prices and play a significant role in how the Bank of Canada judges inflationary measures. With this latest uptick in price growth, Gratham said inflation during the third quarter is now on track to come in higher than the Bank of Canada forecasted in July. The central bank is slated to make its next interest rate decision on October 25th, a decision that economists say just got tougher. This is a very difficult decision, said Gratham. Early this month, the Bank of Canada decided to hold its key interest rate steady at 5% early this month as the economy slows. Recent data showed the economy shrank in the second quarter while the unemployment rate has trended higher. Statistics Canada released its latest job vacancies report Tuesday as well, which shows vacancies continue to fall. Now the central bank will have to weigh that data against higher inflation figures and decide which matters more. Higher grocery prices have been a major pain point for Canadian families, particularly those with lower incomes who spend a larger share of their earnings on food. A missing senior has been located by a police dog after being stranded for hours at the bottom of the ravine in southern Ontario on Monday. Niagara Police said in a news release issued Tuesday that officers were called to residents on Lake Street, north of Lakeshore Road, in St. Catharines, Ontario, just after 7 p.m. Responding officers were told that a man in his 70s left his family home on foot on Monday and did not return. Additional officers and Niagara Police K9 unit were called in to search for the senior. According to Niagara Police Constable Tim Wiley and his K9 companion Rudy started to travel down a path that led to a ravine by Lake Ontario. According to police, St. Catharines firefighters rescued the man who was transported to hospital by paramedics for further assessment. Niagara Police said PSD Rudy is a 4-year-old German Shepherd cross-trained in patrol duties and narcotics detection. India struck back at Canada earlier Tuesday after Prime Minister Justin Trudeau linked agents of India's government to the shooting death of a Sikh leader near Vancouver. A statement from India's Ministry of External Affairs says an unnamed senior Canadian diplomat has been asked to leave India within the next 5 days. Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly said earlier on Monday that Canada was expelling India's Pawan Kumar Rai, whom her department lists in its public registry as a diplomatic agent who heads up an Indian intelligence agency based on Ottawa. Trudeau told the House of Commons on Monday that there is credibility to the allegations that Indian government agents played a role in the death of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Nijjar was killed in the parking lot of his Gurdwara in Surrey, British Columbia on June 18, while Sikh community leaders in Canada have insisted the government of India was involved. Police previously said they had not made any link to foreign interference. India had issued an arrest warrant against Nijjar for his advocacy for a separate Sikh state in India's Punjab region, which activists call Khalistan. India has long maintained that these activists undermine national security, though Canada insists its citizens have freedom of speech if they don't incite violence. Police in British Columbia said in a statement late Monday that they were aware of Trudeau's comments but were not in a position to discuss specifics about their investigation.
This was all from us today. I'm Kubra Ali, and I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.